Welcome back to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sky, just so we can get this out of the way straight away, how do you pronounce this level's name properly?
Hydro City!
And that reason is?
Alright, I'm going to sound very Sonic Retro here, but in the Japanese manual for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the zone's name, written out in kana, is Hydro City, not Hydrocity. So that ends that, and they even fix it in Generations. They separate the Hydro and City when you see the music track for Hydro City.
But Hydro and Velocity, Hydrocity, it just sounds so right.
Too bad! The colors feel so right, but Destructor gave it a 4.5.
Yes, yes, love it.
So fuck you guys, it's Hydro City.
Yet another Sega-related term I've been pronouncing wrong all these years. Ugh.
It's okay, to be honest, when I first played Sonic 3, I called it Hydro City, and then my dad was watching me play or something, and I'm like, oh Dad, look at this level, Hydro City, and he's like, it's Hydrocity. And I would pronounce it that way for so many years.
Shit, your dad had a deep voice.
That's just how I portray my dad for some reason. He doesn't actually sound like that. Skylar.
This is another section of the Sonic 3 and Knuckles commentary that I had to cut out because SonicMovies started making jokes about black men and them having deep voices, and I'm a coward and didn't want people to get offended and unsubscribe. Shadow the Hedgehog sucks. The end.
This of the Sonic 3 special stages, this one is my favorite.
The color palette is so nice.
This is my least favorite because of this moment right here. This moment always caught me off guard. And it reminds me of Carnival Night Zone, which is another case in and of itself.
Well, Carnival Night Zone is everyone's favorite Sonic stage, so I don't know why anyone would like that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, it's right up there with Gene Gadget Zone, that one volcano place from Sonic Spinball, the castle levels from Sonic Heroes, although that's just a personal opinion, mind you. Any water level in a Sonic game that isn't Hydro City. The list just goes on.
Like, we are blowing through these Chaos Emeralds.
Pretty much, yeah.
I will say this, I'm not sure about you guys, but this is, without question, my favorite water level in any Sonic game.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
I mean, just I also think the melody, like the theme, is probably one of my favorite Sonic tracks as well.
Sonic 3, I forget if Sonic and Knuckles had any water segments, but there's a ton of water stuff in the Sonic 3 half of the game, and luckily it's done quite well.
Actually, in Sonic and Knuckles, there is not a single drop of water. It's surprising.
Which you'll laugh about when we actually get to Lava Reef, because there's a power up there which seems kind of out of place.
A gun.
I wouldn't be caught dead with one of those.
No, this track here, I love this. No, Sky, if I remember correctly, one thing we haven't noticed is that when you play Sonic 3 and Knuckles together, they actually change a few things from Sonic 3. And I believe one of them is it in Sonic 3, there's a spring at the end of this bit, and there's a life, which I'm glad they changed that, because that fucked me over the first, like, 700 times I played this level.
Yeah, there are a bunch of little things they tweak. Like, in Sonic 3 alone, I don't think there's that set of spikes there, even. So just a bunch of little things scattered throughout, but it doesn't make a huge difference, but it's very helpful, usually.
I would say probably the biggest difference is the change of music, because the main theme is changed, and so was the theme of Knuckles was completely changed. I mean, I kind of like the Sonic 3 like level of theme of Knuckles, because it sounds just a lot more urban. See, Knuckles walks like this. But Sonic and Knuckles walks like this. He's right, I'm so lame.
You know, that's always been why I thought that Jun Senoi put that Sonic 3 jingle in Sonic 4, because he probably felt bitter about it being replaced with the Sonic and Knuckles one.
Well, no, see, Sonic 3 and Knuckles was Jun Senoi's first game working as a composer, but he didn't produce that much. I think the only track I know that he definitely composed was, you know, the bonus stage where like you jumping up those giant like electric balls.
It makes sense in context, trust me.
Yeah, that's him. But I mean, like, they haven't released. Sega won't release who did what specific track. I mean, the only thing we know is that like Howard Drossen did the main theme and the Knuckles theme. And I believe Sandopoulos, but I'm not 100%. But like Sega won't release it, and even when like Jun Sonoi's asked like who did the tracks in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, all he ever says is, sorry, I can't tell you.
Well, from what I know, Jun Sonoi did the music for the other bonus stage, the Gumball Machine one, and he made the jingles like the end of level da 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 and the extra life for Sonic 3.
Well, that makes sense. Then it probably makes sense why in every game he's sound director for. He keeps bringing those back, so that makes sense. But of course, you know, the kind of the elephant in the room is, of course, apparently Michael Jackson did music for this game, though.
Here we go. This is going to get brought up eventually.
Well, had to. No, see, like, there's so many conflicting reports. Like, some people say he did the entire soundtrack, and then they dropped it. There's people who say he didn't actually do anything. Like Sega said, come, you know, do some music, but then that never happened. There's claims that his people, like his music people, did some tracks in the game, but then when obviously the bad stuff happened with him in the press in the mid-90s, Sega just removed his name from the game. I mean, and Yuji Naka has said, he went on record one time saying, when the time comes, I will let you know. And you would have thought that when Jackson unfortunately died a few years ago, that would have been the time, but apparently not. So I don't think we'll ever know. I mean, like on the official, there was a officially released Sega the Sonic Ultimate Mega Drive collection for the PS3 Xbox. Each game for, in that collection has like some like facts. And the Sonic 3 fact is, at one point Michael Jackson was considered to do music for this game. So I think that's the closest we're going to get to an official report that he was asked about it, it just never came to be. I mean, you also hear reports that like Jackson wasn't happy with the quality of the Mega Drive's music, so he felt like he couldn't do anything with it. But then you think, then why the fuck was did he have his own personal game on the Mega Drive, Moonwalker? So like that I don't believe for a second.
Well, there was one track confirmed, the credit scene for Sonic 3. They said that is eventually what became Stranger in Moscow.
Well, there's a bunch of them. There's this great documentary on YouTube. It's called Michael Jackson's Sonic 3. It's about 5 minutes long, and it goes through all these things that like Carnival Night has elements of Jam, and Ice Cap has elements of like Strangers in the Closet or something, and like so a bunch of his tracks. I forget if that's the name of the track, but like apparently a bunch of these Sonic 3 tracks. Like that. And also that's why when the Sonic & Knuckles collection was released for PC and all of the tracks were like remade in MIDI format, it's like Ice Cap, Launch Base, and Carnival Night were all changed. And the only reason people came up with was there was some kind of legal dispute with Jackson's stuff, which is probably why those 3 stages haven't really been like remixed at all. I mean, because you know when like Generations came out, everyone was like, we want Ice Cap. Everyone wanted Ice Cap from Sonic 3 as the level in that. And maybe, you know, the reason, maybe the soundtrack reasoning, maybe Jackson actually did work on that game, and for contractual reasons, they can't remix that music.
You might be able to explain that, but you still can't explain why Knuckles' socks are yellow in this game. So fuck you.
Hey, Steven, you know what? Palette limitations. Suck on that.
Sonic shoes are red.
Sonic's skin is blue. Are we just stating the bleeding obvious?
Yes.
Actually, his fur is blue, Gareth. His skin is bleach.
Fuck you!
That's all the time we have for this part of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. See you next time for Marble Gone Zone.